On this week's episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Ethan fights for American freedom and Tony serves up an ace. We talk about the week's biggest news, maybe some Dragon Quest, and answer your questions. Howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
Hey, we played Dragon Quest this week, didn't we?
We tried to play together, but that failed.
Oh.
So, yeah. Apparently, I had gotten sucked into a story bit, didn't realize it until it was too late, and did not have access to the teleporter that would let us connect together.
What I'm actually doing, I'm skipping our game talk and going right into our pre-talk, going right into game talk.
That's basically what you've done.
Just giving the fans what they want, more Dragon Quest Builder talk.
So yeah, basically all I've done this week in Dragon Quest Builders is make myself a house on the main island that you live on, and that's about it, because I don't want to get sucked into that third story bit because I'm afraid it's really long, and I want to make sure we can play together.
It is a long, difficult road, because that's where I'm at.
Yeah, so I'm trying not to get sucked into that, so that whenever you're done, we can actually hook up and play together and do whatever you do in multiplayer Dragon Quest Builders.
I actually think I might just be able to up and leave and come back to the other island right now if I wanted to.
You might have to try that later. But no, that's not. I was not going to talk about Dragon Quest Builders this week, but you made me do it.
Oh, I was going to make you no matter what. You had no choice in the matter.
That's true. And I've seen the show notes. There's Dragon Quest Builders talk in the show notes later anyway.
Yay.
So there you go. Before we really get started, though, Ethan, we have a little bit of an announcement.
We do?
We do. I've already posted on Twitter, so people who follow us on Twitter and in the Facebook group already know. It has been confirmed we are doing a live stage show at the Name Your Game Expo here in the Tulsa area in October. So
it's not the news I thought you were going to announce, but all right, cool.
What did you think we were going to? We'll get to that in a minute. But so yeah, October 5th and 6th is the weekend of Name Your Game Expo. It's a brand new gaming convention here in Tulsa that's being headed up, or one of the people that is heading up this convention is our good friend Micah. So we were asked if we wanted to go out and do this. We said, heck yeah, we want to do this. It took a little bit of convincing, actually, but we did finally decide, yeah, we're going to do a live stage show like we did back in Oklahoma City a few years ago, asking trivia questions and doing fun stuff on stage.
It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be crazy. So, yeah, we don't know when exactly. It'll be one of those days, but we don't know when. That has not been set yet. But we did get the confirmation this week that we have been approved. We will be doing that stage show out there. So if you are in the Tulsa area, October 5th and 6th, come on over. It's actually in Broken Arrow, which is not Tulsa, but it's basically Tulsa.
It's totally Tulsa.
So there you go. That, I think it's going to be incredibly fun. We'll, of course, give you guys more details as we get closer to that event. So there you go. What did you think I was going to announce?
Yes.
Did you think I was going to announce the contest we're doing? Not the contest, the giveaway that we're doing on the show?
Well, that's technically a contest.
I guess technically, yes. We're trying to get to 50 subscribers for the show on YouTube by the end of August, and if we do that, we will give away a copy of Dragon Quest Builders to one of our subscribers for the platform of your choice, whether it's PS4 or Switch. So
I got Tony to say Dragon Quest Builders again.
It doesn't take much to get me to say Dragon Quest Builders. I flipping love that game.
Whoa, watch your language.
Sorry, keep it PG. My bad. Sorry. So yeah, by the end of August, if by August 31st we have reached 50 subscribers, we will give away a copy of that game, physical or digital, whichever you would prefer.
Digital outside the U.S., of course.
If you want the physical copy, it's got to be inside the United States. If you do live outside the United States, there is plenty of ways to get that game on your system digitally. We will give you a digital copy if you live outside the United States. Inside, you get to pick. Do you want physical or digital? Completely up to you.
And don't be surprised if it's a U.S. digital copy.
So tell your friends about the show. Get them to subscribe. And let's hit that 50 subscriber mark by the end of August. Is there anything else we need to announce before we start the show?
Unless you want to just really talk about that Majora's Mask thing I saw.
What did you see? You were watching the aliens show, the guy with the crazy hair.
Yeah, they didn't have him on there on this episode.
Man.
Ancient Aliens, I think is what it was called.
Yeah.
So I got home from work, turned on TV, and it's like, oh, it's on this channel. Let's see what they're talking about. And they started talking about how aliens look, this and that. And we're talking like ancient Egypt and how they have like elongated heads on sculptures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, they skip over to the Flatwoods Monster. They don't call it Flatwoods Monster, but I've researched this thing. I know about it because I was really curious about that creature in the Majora's Mask. It's the aliens you fight on the farm in there, that are trying to abduct the cows.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, okay, I know this thing. And then they switch back to the other alien talk for a short moment. And I'm thinking, that's really weird that they would just bring up the Flatwoods Monster. And then, like, right on cue, there's like this broken tablet turned sideways that I don't know where it's at. And there's 2 depictions of Majora's Mask on it.
That is so weird.
The top one, and I sent Tony a picture of this, is just basic form Majora's Mask. And it's like it's a fairly rough sketch, but just at a glance, you can tell exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And then right beneath it is a larger version of Majora's Mask with all the tentacles coming out of it, like during the boss fight, whenever you get into that phase of the fight. So, I don't know what the inspiration for Majora's Mask game and character were, but
This is a good candidate.
I'm pretty sure it involves ancient Egypt and maybe aliens at this point.
That's okay. That would make sense for that game. That game is weird and bizarre and crazy, and it's got the most creepy moon that's ever been.
Yeah, that's a hard moon to top unless you just want to go all in with Soul Eater, where it's up there giggling in the night and got blood like dripping from its mouth, but that's a different story.
Was that one game on 360 and PS3? Did you punch through the moon or did you punch through Earth? There was one, I can't remember what it was. It was it was like the most anime video game you've ever seen. And you're like super.
You mean the Ashura's Wrath?
Yes, that one.
I've never played that, but I wouldn't be surprised if you did one or the other.
You punch through some celestial body, and I don't remember if it's the Earth or the moon.
For a brief moment, I thought you were going to be talking about Bayonetta, and I think you just launch the enemy into the sun, really.
Yeah, see, I don't know about that one. Then in Portal, you shoot things onto the moon, and suck everybody out into space. And so there's a lot of moon-based games. I bet we could probably.
One Punch Man, you get launched to the moon and jump right back.
As you do.
Or as Saitama did, anyway.
I mean, yeah. Saitama
and then I noticed that there is a visible crater that on the moon that wasn't there before.
Really?
Yeah, I think I saw that in the manga. I was like, I'm gonna tell this to Jason.
All right. Well, we could keep going on about moon-based video games, but
We're not saying it was aliens, but it might have been
it,
aliens.
it was probably aliens. But you, sir, as we mentioned in the intro, have been fighting for America's freedom. What the heck have you been playing?
I played an awesome little game from 2004, re-released 15 years later in America. Metal Wolf Chaos XD.
So this is an HD remaster of
It's an
this.
HD something.
It's not really a remaster. It's just like an up-res version of the game.
Yeah, it's like Devolver Digital didn't do really anything. They're like, here's the original game. It's now widescreen and looks good, and it's in proper English on menus now.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it's. I'm not saying it's a bad game. It definitely aged because we're talking original Xbox game here, and
Hmm.
I really want to say it had inverted controls on there, or at least inverted look controls. But they've fixed that. Sound is like probably the one complaint I really have with this game because I know it's going to be. I already know it's an aged game that hasn't had much done to it, but sound is the. I want to say like an issue on this. Like QA had to have either been deaf or gone deaf from
Oh
this
my
game.
gosh. So is it just like blaring? Is that the problem?
Here, let's just go with this. My TV, I normally for video games I keep it around the volume around 11 or 12. I'm gonna take a quick
Okay.
sip of water here because I'm trying not to choke. Sorry. So 11 or 12 is where I keep the normal volume for video games. Sometimes I'll turn it down to 8 for another game. I forget what game that is, but that's not important. Uh, but whenever I'm watching normal TV, I'll turn it up to about 15.
Okay.
If I'm watching a movie, I turn it up to 20 to 25. With Metal Wolf Chaos, I'm turning it up to 20 to 25 just for normal gameplay. And pre-mission dialogue stuff that they give you.
Okay.
When you activate the super on there, you get this really loud yell that spikes way louder than it should, but it's like for a brief second. That's fine. I can live with that. You get done with the mission, they have their own version of CNN called DNN, and that volume is 5 times louder than anything in the game. I'm turning
Oh
my
my
TV down to
gosh.
like 5 just so I can
Wow.
not go deaf and have it at some level I can understand it at.
Yeah, it sounds like they needed to mix that audio a little better.
So now my TV's turned down to 5. It switches back to the regular audio. I can't hear it. I turn it up to 11 instinctively. Still can't hear it.
Really?
So it means I had to turn it back up to 20, and oh my gosh, it is horrible.
You should not have to play with the volume that much while you're playing a game.
Exactly. It is so annoying.
Like
And
there have been a few times where I've been playing a game and music tends to be a little louder than, conversations, and I have to adjust it a little bit there, but it doesn't happen very often.
that's another complaint I have with a bunch of games where it's like either your music's going to be too loud and you can't hear what's being said, or you can hear everything being said, but you can't hear the music at all, hardly. It's
Mhm.
just. Sound is such an important setting for games.
That's true. It's very true.
It's like if Metal Gear Rising didn't have the volume in the right spots on there, I think it would have just been a generic platinum game.
Mhm.
Instead,
That's it.
it's just considered a platinum game that's really fun to play.
I was playing a little bit of uh, Sniper Elite 4, which just hit PlayStation Plus this week. And I think that's one of those games where I'm going to have to actually play it with headphones to be able to hear everything that you need to be able to hear in that game, because sound is incredibly important in that game. You know, if you make too much sound, people hear you, but then you also need to be able to hear and tell position wise where enemy soldiers are, so that you're not getting noticed. And so um, that's one of those games where sound should be one of the most important things that you're paying attention to.
Right. It's like if you can't hear what your objective is and there's no visible indicator on there, then you're just kind of on your own for whatever it is in the game, and maybe and important things can be missed from that.
Mhm. And by the way, I played about an hour of that game today, and my thought about what it was this is just Assassin's Creed set in World War II, and you have a gun instead of a sword. So it's hidey, hidey, shooty, shooty, and it's been very good so far. Like, I've never played one of the sniper games in the past.
I've seen clips from the Sniper Elite stuff. It's pretty neat looking.
I think Sniper Elite 3 is coming to the Switch later this year. They're re-releasing that in an ultimate form, so it'll have all the DLC and everything. Uh, but Sniper Elite 4 was free, so I thought I'd download it and try it out. And it really did feel to me like an Assassin's Creed game, only you're wearing camouflage instead of a flowing robe.
That's fair. I wonder when we'll move into the Assassin's Creed games where you're using both knives and guns together.
That's a really good question. I mean, there have been there
Uh,
have been
yeah, like two, you get the wrist pistol thing, but
well, the oh, what are they? The side-scrolling ones on PS4. One of them takes place in Russia, and you have guns in that one.
was it three where you could like steal a person's bayonet gun or something? Or am I,
Yes. Well, yeah. In 3, you could use rifles. You could take them from people or pick them up and use them.
but they weren't the focus point.
No, you were really trying to be stealthy, and you can't really be stealthy with a flintlock pistol. There's no way to suppress that sound or muzzle flash in any way. So, yeah.
I mean, maybe one day we'll get a Assassin's Creed that's close to Watch Dogs.
Like we've said before, I swore that was where the series was going, was we were going to get that modern day Assassin's Creed, and the closest thing we've gotten is Watch Dogs.
Which
Um,
they'll make references to each other, but it's just let us have that actual connection one
yeah.
at least
Have
once.
they actually said that those games take place in the same universe, or is that just
Yeah,
speculation and theory?
it's speculation because uh, uh, I want to say it was the first Watch Dogs. They talked about there was mention of oh, what's the company in AC?
Abstergo.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that company got mentioned a couple of times, but I mean, it's just a mention, so it's like, okay, there's your connection there, but no
Yeah.
actual integration of it other than that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, anything else you want to say about Metal Wolf Chaos before we move on?
If they can fix the volume through a patch on there, the game would be way better than. I mean, it'd be way more enjoyable because I'm not having to focus on volume adjustment the whole time.
Like, aside from that, is the gameplay itself actually good?
It it's rather generic for what it is.
Okay.
I mean, it's a game from 2004. It's not groundbreaking on any technology. It's just very American, but you're also in this small mech suit shooting stuff. So there's that, and like changing between weapons is very uh, time consuming.
Really?
Yeah, you have to hit. I want to say like your one of your shoulder buttons, and then that brings up a menu, and then you're hitting other shoulder buttons to cycle through them
Mm,
independently on each side. So good times.
okay. Okay, well, as previously mentioned, I have been playing a little bit of Dragon Quest Builders, but I'm not going to talk about that this week because I haven't done a lot. Instead, what I wanted to talk about just briefly was Mario Tennis Aces because I downloaded that, and Nintendo has been allowing people to play it if you're a Switch Online subscriber for free for the last few days, and I think that's about to run out. I think it runs through tomorrow, if I'm remembering, as of the time of recording. So Sunday the 11th, I think, is when that ends, or maybe it's the 13th. I don't remember for sure, but
Just really soon.
it's getting close. And it's a game that I played the demo when they first brought it out, but back when they first let people try it out, they were testing the servers, and you were only able to play the sort of the 1v1 stuff online with other players. There was nothing else that you could play. With this, they're giving you the full game to play for free for the week as much as you want. And then, of course, should you decide, you can then buy the game and play it after this trial week ends. And they're offering it for, I think, 33% off. I think you can get it for $40 right now instead of 60. And after originally playing that demo, it was fun. It was good. It felt better than the previous Mario Tennis games, but it wasn't something I was interested in playing. Uh, but I downloaded it this week, and I have been playing the single player story, and that has been really fun. I am surprised at how fun it's been. Uh, Not enough for me to really want to buy the game. It hasn't, enticed me that much. I'm not interested in dropping $40 right now for this game that I may not play.
That's fair.
But if they continue to offer it free for Switch Online players, I'd keep it on my system. I'd play it and then maybe do some stuff online. Potential. I think there's some DLC for it. Don't remember if it's free or not. But if it was, it's the kind of thing that maybe I'd drop, $5, $10 on to pick up some DLC and support the game that way. But it's been really, the story mode's been really good. They brought back the RPG stuff that the sports games have been missing the last few times.
Fun.
And so it actually it has been. They've brought some fun back to the game, and it's not just the straight tennis that was on the 3DS. It was you get to this spot, you hit the right button, you win, basically. And so Mario Tennis on the 3DS wasn't a fun game to play.
Yeah, you could say the same thing about the Mario Tennis on the Virtual Boy.
Well, that was not fun to play in a completely different way.
Because it caused a headache.
Exactly. But this RPG stuff, it's ridiculous. I mean, the story is so over the top, cheesy and dumb, but it's got that Nintendo charm that you're like, yeah, I know this is dumb and it's stupid, but I'm having fun anyway. So let me have my fun. And it's one of those things where if they did some stuff and tweaked some things to where it seemed like everybody was taking this way too seriously, it wouldn't be, but they're playing and having fun with the over the top like absurdity of the story, and so that makes it fun. It's that Nintendo charm that that makes it interesting and fun to play. But you've got an overworld, and you're going around the overworld, and there'll be a mission where you have to just straight up play a tennis match against someone and beat them to move on. And then there'll be other things where like there's 10 piranha plants on the other side of the court, and some of them are spitting fireballs at you or tennis balls at you, and you have to hit them back and hit a certain number of the piranha plants before time runs out. And you have like 2 minutes, I think, to hit 30 piranha plants or something like that. Um,
Wow.
and so it tests your control of the different types of shots that you can make, um, and gives you a reason to use a bunch of the different skills that you need that you can then take to actual tennis matches and potentially become better at those tennis matches. Or what was another one that I did? One of them, you were playing tennis on a pirate ship, which was crazy because they just happened to have a tennis court painted onto the deck of this pirate ship, and then the mast is in the way, so you have to, not hit the mast with the tennis ball while you're trying to play tennis. And so it's been fun in those kinds of ways. And I would play all the way through this story because it's been crazy. Like that's the best thing to say about it. It's been crazy. I've had fun playing the game, but it's not one that I want to drop the money on to play all the way through. I'm not going to be sad if I don't finish the story mode, but I would continue to play it if Nintendo continued to offer this game for free for Switch Online players.
That's cool.
I haven't tried any of the online stuff yet. I assume that works really well, but because it did during the beta testing, I didn't have any problems with lag or connection. I don't know what the player base is for the game, so I don't know how easy it would be to get into matches online, but I've played a little bit of offline 1v1 matches with the kids and had some fun doing that. Uh, so there you go. If it's still going on and you're a Nintendo Switch Online player, you still have a little bit of time to download the game, try it out for free, and see if it's something that you're interested in playing. Because it's fun. It really is. It's not a bad game, and it's not a you know a broken game or a game that isn't fun to play. It's just not one that has convinced me that I'm willing to pay $40 or $60 to play it. So, but that is it. Aside from Dragon Quest Builders and a little bit of Sniper Elite today, that's all that I have been playing. So, let's take a quick break. We will come back and we'll talk about the news. All right, we've already talked about Dragon Quest Builders, but bear with us for just a minute because we have some more Dragon Quest Builders news. There's going to be an update to the game soon, and Ethan, you've got the details for what this update will include.
Yes. Let's see. At the moment, there's uh, the plans are to add. I told you I had it, but I was kind of like scrambling to get it. Uh, we're gonna get an epilogue, more save files, and new hairstyles in a free update.
Really?
Yes. So at the moment, only you can only have one Buildertopia. I'm guessing that's the Builder world. That's not Island of Awakening.
Okay.
And you only have one manual save file and one auto save.
Yeah.
This update's going to give you 3 manual save files and 3 Buildertopias.
Interesting. I wonder if this is something that people have been really asking for. I
Well,
haven't been
I
in.
do know the save file thing was being asked for quite a bit.
Okay. See, I haven't been in the situation where I've been like, I'd really like to save this and go down a different path, or
Well,
just have multiple
it's not so much
saves.
that you just want to have different saves for different paths, because honestly, the different paths don't exist. But if you wanted to build something differently or go back and see if you could do something different that may happen,
Yeah.
I mean, the options are there, but the problem is you only have one save file, so if one of your kids got on there and just went and then destroyed your entire island ecosystem, that save file is going to get overwritten somehow or another. So that's one of the reasons you would want to have multiple save files in case they overwrote that one as well, along with the autosave.
Yeah.
Uh, and of course, the Buildertopias are the custom worlds where you can just go and build whatever. So having multiples of those means mess this one up. Well, you can always just start a new one. Well, now you can have like, okay, I messed this one up. I'm gonna fix it later, but I want my friends to see this island instead that I'm building. So
Yeah,
that's
okay.
gonna be great.
That I can see some use for, because you could have one where you're playing by yourself. You could have another one where if you've got friends that you want to play with, you can play online without having to worry about something happening to your one that you've put a ton of time and work into.
True, true. Uh, let's see. The additional Buildertopias will be unlocked during the new epilogue that's being added, and we don't know what's going to happen in that. Square Enix hasn't told us anything about what it's going to be. It's just that just what you'll have to do to get access to it. And then of course new hairstyles, because that, I mean, customizing your character, that's always a plus.
Yeah, I've had one hairstyle to choose from,
Just the one.
so my character looks like an old man Goku. So, and most all the characters I've seen, unless I think some of the DLC packs have a couple different hairstyles, but most every character I've seen just has that spiky hair that sticks straight up.
Mine's running around rocking the pigtails.
Yeah. So, well, that'll be nice to have when that comes out. Do we know when it's coming out? Have they said?
I accidentally just closed the window.
Okay. It'll be out soon, I would imagine.
I hope so. I was trying to switch over to some other news real quick, and I clicked the X on there. I'm sorry.
So, well, I got an email this week from a company that wanted to promote their Kickstarter project, Genki, and they are releasing or wanting to release a dock for the Nintendo Switch, a third-party dock that uh, basically gets rid of the big bulky thing that you put the Switch in favor of something that you can basically fit in your pocket. It's about the size of a regular, well, I don't want to say a regular charger.
It's about 9% the size of the dock, the actual
Yeah,
dock.
it's not much bigger than like the Amazon chargers that I have for my tablets and things like that. It has the spots for the USB-C to plug in from the Switch to the charger, HDMI cable that would then run to the TV, and it's got one USB slot, so you could plug one wired controller into it or something into it. They are asking for $50,000 to reach their goal. Backers at the $59 level, I think. Let me check and make sure. Yeah, $59. You would get one of the docks plus a USB cable, as well as an adapter pack for regions outside the United States. There was an early bird that was $49, but they have sold out of all of that. So $59 would get you one of these docks. It's a really neat looking dock. It looks like it's well made. And they have said in their Kickstarter project that they have taken care of some of the issues that other third-party docks have had, where power wasn't being used properly or distributed properly, and it would either burn out the dock or burn out the Switch.
Because it would think it's in portable mode and it's supplying power for docked mode or something, or it's supplying dock power when you're in portable mode. It's a weird situation, really.
Yeah. So third-party docks for the Switch have been very hit or miss, and a lot of people have had their systems bricked because of it. But this company claims that they have fixed that problem. They were asking for $50,000 to bring this dock out. As of now, less than a week into their Kickstarter, and they have 33 days to go, they have reached $668,000 with
Yep.
just over 10,000 backers. So it looks like a lot of people are interested in a portable dock, and they think this may be the company that can do it. So
It definitely looks like an interesting little dock.
it does look really cool. It looks like it's been really well designed and really well made. It doesn't look like cheap plastic. It doesn't look like it would fall apart if you accidentally blew on it. It's got foldable prongs, so you don't have to worry about those getting bent if it's in a bag or something like that. They fold
And
up
to be
out of the
fair, we
way.
keep calling it a dock. It's not so much a dock as is as a it plugs into the wall and you'll have to run cables to your Switch. But wow, they just got big big like $100 thing there.
Did they?
Yeah, I
Uh,
was like, wow, those numbers are
it's a
skyrocketing.
it's essentially a portable dock. It allows you to take this thing with you and you can plug your Switch in, and then it would display on the TV. Uh, so I mean, it's you don't dock the system into it. You would just set the system on like the table or something. So it does run into that issue that a lot of third party docks have had, where you either have to put the system face up with the exhaust vents on the table, or you have to turn it face down and risk scratching the screen or the screen protector. Uh, so it does have a little bit of that issue. Um, but it looks like it's a pretty good little dock for $60, which is about $30 cheaper than the first party dock and a power cord to go with it. I think the dock itself is $80, and then you can get a power cord for it for 10 or 15. So, but yeah, if you're interested, you can check out their Kickstarter. You can go to Kickstarter and just search for Covert Dock, or we'll put a link to it in the show notes so that you can go straight to that and check out this Kickstarter and see if it's something you're interested in. Uh, okay. Another thing some people might be interested in. I've played it. It is a fantastic game. Cadence of Hyrule. Ethan, have you played this?
I have not.
You need to play it because it is very good. Um, but if you're curious about the game and maybe you're not sure if you want to drop the $25 to play it, they have now put out a demo for the game so you can see exactly what this rhythmic Legend of Zelda game is all about. It is very good. Just if nothing else, download it and listen to the music because the music is fantastic. So good. The remixes for those classic Zelda tunes are incredible. But there is a demo available now on the Switch eShop. Go check that out if you're curious. Uh, Way back in 2006, Ethan, November of 2006, November 19th of 2006. I remember the day.
If you're trying to beat me on talking about games that are from the 2000s, I beat you already with the 2004 Metal Wolf
That's
Chaos.
true. You are playing an older game than I'm about to talk about. But this one came out in 2006. It was a launch game for the Wii, one of the two games at launch of the system that I had. It was The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess and Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz. Those were the two games I got when I got my Wii. Uh, Sega has announced. I think we might have already talked about this on the show. I don't remember if we did or not. But they are redoing or they're re-releasing Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and also PC. The PC release will be out later than the console versions, though.
Okay.
Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD coming to consoles on October 29th for $40.
$40?
$40.
Neat.
A lot of people were very confused about this. They thought, why wouldn't you bring out better Super Monkey Ball games like the first two on the Game Boy, or not the Game Boy,
The
That would
Game
be
Boy.
very different. The GameCube. Um, those were good games. I really liked Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz. It had some issues. It was not the best Monkey Ball game, but I really liked it. I liked the visual style. I liked playing around with the motion controls. It wasn't perfect because you were using those motion controls on launch Wii's, but it was a fun game. Um, they are removing the motion controls from this, so you will not, even on Switch, you won't use motion controls. You will just use the analog sticks, like traditional Monkey Ball games. And they're getting rid of some of the mini games. The original one had 50, I believe, that were 50 multiplayer mini games, and they are only putting 10 in this version of the game.
That is
So
so sad.
I don't know why they're doing that. I haven't seen an explanation as to why they're just chopping off 40 multiplayer game or little mini games that people could play. Um, I really really like the Monkey Ball series though. They're really fun games.
I've only played that first one on GameCube, and
Yeah,
I mean I enjoyed it because I didn't have anything else to play at the time.
yeah.
Didn't even have
And
Luigi's Mansion.
oh man, I didn't get GameCube at launch, but Luigi's Mansion was one of the first games that I had for that system.
I want to say that was like a Christmas game for me.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Uh,
Halloween game for Christmas.
we are 2.5 months now from the release of Luigi's Mansion 3, and I am very impatiently waiting. Very impatiently waiting. I want to play that game. I want to play it now. I can't.
Yeah, I just need to make sure to order a copy instead of just expecting to go and pick one up at a Walmart again.
It may be one of the few games that I pre-order just so that I know that I have my copy and will be able to get it on launch day. I don't expect there would be any problems, um, but I may have to go ahead and pre-order that because I will be getting that physical. I will not be getting that digital and having to wait for the download to happen.
Oh
So
man, I made like a 55-mile drive just so I could get a copy at Walmart on launch day. They even had advertisements up saying, "Hey, it comes out today," on their
yeah,
TVs and stuff. And the manager was quite a jerk. She's like, "No, we're getting it in today, probably." You don't know release dates
maybe.
very well, do you, lady? You're in the wrong department and the wrong job. So
So
I ended up getting Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate for both systems and left.
that's a pretty good game to have too.
Yeah, it is.
So, but Monkey Ball will be out 2 days before Luigi's Mansion. So there you go. Luigi's Mansion comes out October 31st. That is the most important game for the rest of the year. I don't care what anybody says. That's the only game that matters from now to December 31st, Luigi's Mansion. Um, but
On my ever-ending journey to talk about games older than what Tony's talking about,
man, you're just gonna trump all of that by
uh,
talking about.
I'm going far and beyond what I just had earlier.
All right, what do you want to talk about now?
TurboGrafx 16, or PC Engine as it's called in the cool parts of the world. Uh, so the mini versions are coming out sometime,
Hmm.
and we had a announcement for 8 more games. I think is what it was.
Okay.
And so 6 of the games that were announced for it are Dragon Spirit, Galaga 88, because it came out in 1988 on this one, or it's
That makes
the
sense.
1988
If
version of Galaga.
yeah,
Also, Dragon Spirit came out in 1988, so there's two 1988s. The Genji and the I don't know how to say that.
Haika.
Heikai clans came out in 1990. The Legend of Valkyrie, 1990. Seirei Senshi Spriggan, 91. And then Springen Mark II, 92.
Of that list, I have played Galaga.
And the other 2 games that were part of this announcement were the English the 1990 English release of Splatterhouse.
Okay.
And by the way, the 6 previous games I read, those are supposed to be the Japanese games, I believe, from what I'm reading on here. And then the Japanese edition of the console is also getting the 1992 role-playing adventure Tengai Makoyu to Maji Maru, and that comes out. The system comes out in March, so sometime next year.
All right. I
And
imagine you will have one of those.
yeah, I already got a pre-order. I actually had
Yeah.
2 pre-orders and had to cancel one. I pre-ordered a Japanese one because people in the TurboGrafx group were idiots and wouldn't tell me if it was limited to Japan's Amazon only, like I was reading, or not. And then it came out on our U.S. Amazon.
So,
In fact, I think they actually mocked me on that thing. I don't know why I'm part of that group.
well, that's not very nice.
I know. I asked one thing. It's like, just give me an answer. That's all I need. I don't need to be made fun of. This
I
isn't
just
grade
want to know
school
if
where the
it's
teacher can
coming
make
up.
fun of me and get away with it again. True story.
Right.
Not going to talk about it.
Oh man. Yeah, we don't want to do that.
Uh,
Uh, so yeah, I have played one of those games that you've talked about, and that is it.
I just look forward to actually getting the system and waiting for someone to break the emulator on there so you can add more stuff so I can go and
Oh,
put an English version of Snatcher on there instead of the Japanese one that they're including.
you know it will happen. Somebody will crack that thing wide open.
Yep.
Yeah, but then you won't have to spend like $300 for games for your Turbo Graphics.
I don't actually own a original TurboGrafx.
Oh,
It's kind of a mess trying to figure out which console to get in that stuff.
yeah. Yeah, I don't even try.
Yeah, it gets crazy. There's, I want to say, like a 2 disc version or something of this console. It's really weird.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that is it for the news. So let's move on to listener feedback. We got a couple questions this week, and our first one comes from Nathan via Facebook, who wants to know what is our dream car or dream cars. He says he would love to drive a Honda Accord, but for muscle cars, he likes Mustangs, Dodge Challengers, and Hellcats. Not a big Camaro fan.
I am not a fan of Camaro either. The
So
turning radius in those is like turning a boat or something. It's just horrible.
my biggest issue with Camaros, and I've driven one before, was that I just can't see anything out of them. The windows in the one that I drove were so small. I was afraid I was going to run into something because I couldn't see anything.
I actually had to drive my little sister's a couple of weeks ago, and I have the same issue. It's like I can't tell if I can see out of anything on here or not.
Yeah. My dream car is a weird one. It's not really a dream car, but the car that if anyone said, "Here you go, here's your money, you can buy whatever you want," uh, is a Nissan Altima. Like the first car that I drove really that was mine was a '95 Nissan Altima, and I loved that thing. And accordioned the front end one winter because I hit some ice and slammed into the back of somebody.
Oh,
Um, and for the longest time, it was sort of jokey. But anytime I saw an Ultima driving down the street, I would sniffle like I was really sad. My wife would comment, and I don't do that as much anymore. But Nissan Altima would be one of the first ones, and it doesn't matter. 95 would be great, but I'd really like something a little more modern for that. VW Bus is another one of those old VW buses. I had the opportunity once uh, to maybe purchase one and ended up not being able to. Or the one thing that I really really want because my wife and I want to own like a lot of land to put a giant vegetable garden and stuff on is just an old pickup truck, like an old 1950s Ford Chevy pickup truck that you see them driving down the market. They got the wood on the sides, the wooden slats on the
yeah.
sides of it. Just an old pickup truck. That's what I really, really want.
That'd be actually kind of stylish to have.
So, I don't want Bugatti Veyrons or Lamborghinis or anything like that.
Wait, were you reading my list? You just named like one of the cars on there.
I mean, if I had the money, no, even then, I don't see myself ever being like, you know what, I got $1 million just to blow. I'm gonna go buy a Bugatti.
I mean, I don't know if it still has the record, but at one point it was like the fastest car in the world.
Yeah, I think that's been eclipsed.
Well, like
Like
street
I
legal as well, but you had to
no,
have like special insurance and alert the police when you had the car.
yeah. I think like McLaren has eclipsed that, or there's some other car that has. I watch Top Gear, so
I used to watch Top Gear before it was
and
ended.
now I watch. Well, they're actually bringing it back. It starts again this week.
No, they're not. It
Well,
ended.
it's not.
They ended it whenever they got rid of Richard Hammond,
Yeah, it's on
James
Amazon now. So
James
like,
May, and
and it's called the Grand Tour.
yeah.
Uh, so yeah.
But no, yeah, I would love to have like a Bugatti Veyron. That'd be a beautiful car to have.
Oh, it definitely would. Um,
Uh, I'm very partial to having the Mustangs, as I've had two already.
yeah.
Maybe a third in the future, near future. Um, I wouldn't mind like a supercar, like a Ferrari, or is Ferrari still a supercar?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, they are. See, I'm not the kind of person that I can see spending the kind of money for those types of things. I like really old cars and things like that. So,
Well, I mean,
you know,
like with the Mustangs, you like the older version of the Mustang, the better it is apparently. But at the same time,
but
the newer the Mustang is, the better it is as well.
that's true. Um, so, but yeah, an old, 60-year-old pickup truck. That's what I want.
You know what? The ultimate vehicle, the Warthog.
Well, there is that. There is that. So,
Just getting to drive that around in uh, Forza Horizon was. It's not the fastest, and it's got horrible turning, but I unlocked the car. I'm happy.
there is somebody here in Tulsa that I've seen this a few times. They drive a banana car, and it is a car shaped like a banana.
Oscar Mayer
So,
Wienermobile.
well, yeah, I mean, who doesn't want that one? Um, but yeah, it's got this banana car. I'll have to see if I can find a picture of it. But it has four seats all in a row. So it's one person behind the next, behind the next, behind the next, and they just go up the back of the banana. Uh, it is the weirdest thing when you're driving down the street and all of a sudden you see a banana coming towards you. Um, but yeah,
I wouldn't mind getting a DeLorean
yeah, I've seen
and
one
then
of those driving
get a
around.
license plate that just says TARDIS.
That'd be good. So
There would be people on both sides of that fandom that just hate me for doing that.
I have seen once in my entire life. I've seen somebody driving a DeLorean, and it was the Mr. Fusion version of the DeLorean.
Nice.
Um, somebody here in Tulsa has a Jurassic Park Jeep, not the green and red one that gets destroyed by the T Rex. It's the
The
brown and red one.
Yeah, there's two
That
of them over there, and I met one of them at Tokyo and Tulsa.
did you?
Well, I say me. I was like getting a thing out of the way so he could park the vehicle in the building.
No. The most bizarre car I have ever seen in person was somebody took, I think it was a VW Beetle, and made it look like Yoda. It was the most disturbing thing I've ever seen.
That reminds me of the contest Nintendo had for the Beetle that looked like Pikachu.
Yeah, I think I remember that. I'd have to see some pictures.
It's just so weird with the that tail sticking up at the back end of it.
Yeah. But keeping with the car theme, Christy via Facebook wants to know, what is our favorite car racing game? Mario Kart's not allowed.
Did she say that, or did you say that?
No, I said that.
Okay, because I copied that and put that in here, and I was like, I don't remember that being there.
No, what is our favorite car racing game? Do you have one?
Let's see. Forza Horizon was pretty good to play. Diddy Kong Racing, but that's got more planes and stuff.
No. See, for me, it is the NASCAR games. Like the NASCAR Heat games, especially recently, have been ones that I've enjoyed playing quite a bit.
I think the last car racing game that I just I fell in love, not in love with, but fell into, I have to beat this game. I'm playing it constantly. Was Mega Race.
Okay.
And that game is that game is horrible.
Is it?
It's bad.
We were talking about the Grand Tour earlier. I know they released a game on PS4 last year that went along with the things they were doing in the show, and so every week they would release new cars and new tracks for you to play on. And apparently that game was really good. I never got a chance to play it, but I have heard some people say that it was a lot of fun. But for me, just give me a good old NASCAR game and tell me to turn left a whole bunch, and I will have a lot of fun.
I think it was Sega GT Rally 98 or Sega Rally Championship 98 for the Sega Saturn. Easy turn left, maybe. Just the stuff that your co-pilot is yelling at you.
Yeah.
And then win or lose, you always get the same ending. It's just the credits come up and it's just game over, yeah, and it cuts off.
That sounds fantastic. RC Pro-Am is another good one. Yeah. Well, there you go. I have now made the oldest reference on the show. So, boom. RC Pro-Am. Done.
RC Pro-Am.
That had to have been prior to 88, right?
1988. Let's see. Mega Race came out in 93. Okay. Well, you're in the 98 range, so you've tied it.
All right. Well, that, Ethan, will be the show for this week. So
it's over. Yeah.
Don't forget, go subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. Tell your friends to subscribe to the podcast on YouTube.
I mean, they're watching this on YouTube, so.
It's true. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Because we want to give away that copy of Dragon Quest Builders. Now, don't do that. No, we're not going there.
But yeah, if you haven't subscribed, think about it. I mean, what do you have to lose?
1 second of your time.
I mean, I could go further and say click the notification icon so that way you know when we have new episodes, but it comes out every Tuesday?
Every Tuesday.
If I remember to put it up to the public.
If you're a Patreon subscriber, you get it on Mondays.
Which, since we don't do an audio version anymore, I can actually upload to public whenever even at work, if I remember.
Yeah.
So that's a lot easier on me.
All right. Well, there you go. Thank you very much, Ethan, for being on the show this week.
What are we going to talk about next week, if we don't get Dragon Quest news?
Oh, we'll figure something out.
We'll have to make up our own rumors and speculate.
We'll just play Bullet Witch on the show live. If you want to reach out to us, we have tons of new ways to do so. You can email us at podcast@procgent.com. That's PROCGENT.com. You can send us a voicemail if you want by clicking on the voicemail link on the right side of the website. You can send us voicemails up to 90 seconds in length, and we'll play those on future episodes of the show and respond to the questions that you have. If you like what we do here, you can now support us on Patreon, patreon.com/PGEnt. Patreon supporters will get a video version of the podcast a day early. These will normally go out on Tuesdays. Patreon supporters will get them on Monday. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/progenint. Check out our YouTube channel that we've got and see the content we've got going on up there. And then we still do have the Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.